What's happening, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Friday. It is Friday. I have to look at the day. I really don't know what day it is half the time. I'm just like, I think I look in the top right corner. I think, oh, it's Friday that day. Because I've been streaming for a while now, getting the good information out, talking about the ecosystem, crypto today, special day, Bitcoin halving actually might happen. Could happen. We're going to bring up the countdown clock here in a minute too. But yeah, today, community stream, kind of the new version of the open mic. So got Kane on today, HEXGeta, and Costa. Corey's getting their monthly deal going on today, so that should be fun. Very excited. Could not be better time in the ecosystem to talk about the community and different projects launching in it. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. First up, Kane, HEXGeta, and last but not least, Professor Meatballs. How's it going?
Yo, Professor Meatballs.
Yo, what up? Yo, praise Detroit. How you guys doing?
I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, "Oh man, don't forget to say that. Don't forget to say it." And at the last minute, oh yeah, I remember what I was going to say. I call Johnny Chaos. I call him Professor Chaos from with Butters from South Park too, which very affectionately. I think it works. But yeah, how's it going, gents? How you guys doing?
Yeah, all good, all good. What's is I wonder is anything supposed to happen today with the halving, or we all just sit here and hopefully our bags pumped?
Miners indeed are supposed to get the rewards halved. That's what I've heard.
I mean, personally, I think it's I mean, again, I'm pulling this right out of my ass. I'm not no TA guru. I don't know anything about that. You know, it's not my thing. But I mean, traditionally, you know, big events that happen tend to be a sell the news event. So I'm thinking that will happen. Maybe. Not a financial advisor. Make your own.
We're looking pretty green on PulseChain today, though.
Yes.
Yeah, PulseChain unaffected. There you go. I like it.
Right.
One way or another. Yeah, I think so. It says 4 hours, and you know, it's estimated date depending on what I guess what block height and stuff they go by. But 64K had a little bit. It went up a little bit. I mean, it went down a lot and then went up a little bit. So, Corey, you telling me that your financial advice is to buy this thing?
No, I know most adults in this world, especially in crypto, can't take financial responsibility for themselves. But I'm telling you,
then sell it.
What?
Buy it, then sell it immediately.
What I'm saying is not financial advice by any means. I'm thinking there's probably going to be a pullback. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, I certainly hope it pulls back into altcoin season. So that would be a nice.
That is a good point. You're good. That was good.
What do you guys think? HEXGeta, you've been following any? HEXGeta. I keep messing it up. You got to correct me, man.
Yeah.
HEXGeta.
No worries. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a macro guy, you know, I'm more of a stats guy, but yeah, I know that in the recent dip in the HEX ecosystem, I DCA'd that pretty hard. So let's see how it goes. Looking forward to the next year or so.
We had a HEX pump recently, right?
HEX specifically, yeah. Like HEX is doing really well, like 40% or so.
More pumpy dumpy.
We'll do. I mean, after you go down 98%. I like to get excited. I like to get excited. We might have a little bit of good news, but wow, yeah. We have that over today's 19th. Yeah, the last few hours.
We're nearly at all-time highs again. So
congrats, everyone. Congrats. We're making new all-time highs. Yeah, well, that's a great segue too. Just what was your all's reaction to? I'll save mine for last because it's probably the most civil. But what was your all's reaction when seeing Richard? He went on the tweet storm. You know, talked about different hex on PulseChain prices and stuff too, and just in general, what is it? I always take it at, you know, I want to frame it like this. I think Richard said a long time ago, I'm not here for you guys, whether that feels good or not. I'm here for the new people. I'm here to educate the new people coming in, trying to show them, you know, the good news and what you're here for and all that stuff too. And so again, I'll say my reaction for last. But what did you guys think when, or did you think about it at all? Did you just like, just another tweet?
I'm always glad to see Richard being active and tweeting kind of anything, but yeah. I mean, that's kind of controversial. That all-time high. He's got a point, but it's like anybody that's already here is certainly not feeling like we're going anywhere near all-time high. It was kind of, you can look at it, call it what it is. It was kind of ridiculous, in my opinion. Kind of ridiculous statement, but it has a little element of truth to it. So that was my take. I don't read into too much, read into every tweet too much. I just like to see him active and giving opinions. You know, any eyeballs and controversy is kind of good at the minute. We need something from him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna piggyback on that and say, like, I'm glad that he said Hex on PulseChain instead of just Hex, because if that was the case where he didn't highlight Hex on PulseChain, I would have just said holy gaslight.
It would be funny if he typed it like that, and then it's like, oh crap, I forgot to put the on PulseChain thing, and then like below, you know, because he doesn't. I don't think he deletes much anymore or whatever, but he'll like correct it below correction. That'd be funny if he did that. Everyone freaked out, and then funny in a sad way.
No, that's why I'm glad he. That's why I understood, because he said Hex on PulseChain, not Hex on Ethereum. So I'm glad that he conveyed that, because if it wasn't, I would have been like, this is just a fucking gaslighting tweet, and I don't care if anybody disagrees. But he didn't, so good on that.
You know, it's so interesting because we all kind of live through Richard's tweets. Like they come through on our phones while we're going about our daily lives or whatever. I just glanced at those 4 or 5 tweets and I didn't think much of it. But then I like checked Twitter later and everyone was making such a big deal of the all-time high line. And I was like, oh yeah, he did say all-time high. It's like, it's definitely not the all-time high. Like even on the PHEX only chart, it's not the all-time high.
I didn't even know he tweeted. I mean, I had tweet notifications, but I was sleeping, and then I saw them 6 hours later, and then I woke up and I saw the tweet notification because I have Richard notifications on, and I saw him talk. He wrote 6 different tweets, and I was on my way to work, and I'm like, maybe I'll check these out later. I can't read 6 tweets right now. I know Richard tends to make long tweets, so I didn't really see anything about it up until I woke up, and I'm like, all right, whatever, it is what it is. Cool. I'm glad he's tweeting, because the last time he tweeted from then was 6 days ago or 2 days ago. I'm not sure. I think it was either 2 or 6. I don't know. So, but it was a couple of days since he tweeted. So I'm like, all right, he tweeted. So,
well, it's confusing. I definitely reserve my. I've been much more reserving my right to like or comment on tweets. These days when I'm just like, yeah, maybe I'll chew it. I'll chew on it for a bit, or I'll just literally. I literally don't pay attention to some of the tweets that I don't, immediately like or get that dopamine hit for or see as useful. Again, but then I'll try to come back later. I'm like, oh man, was there something there? Like that immediate reaction. Like, did I stop myself from having? Maybe, maybe I'm going to have a cup of coffee, but is there something here? And again, I don't need to understand everything he does or whatever. Never have, never will. But, I don't know.
That's definitely true.
I think he has mostly interesting and good tweets if you look at the body of work. So I'll give it that. But I wanted to scroll down real quick too. This one, Buck commented here. Always dropping a big clue here. Pay attention, class. I haven't heard anyone elaborate on this yet. Anybody got any guesses? Something more here?
I saw that and reread the tweet, but I still didn't quite get what he was hinting at.
I think this is just my personal assumption. If you've noticed, with every tweet Richard conveys with his 4 tickers, with PHEX, PulseX, PulseChain, Inc., there's always a very large chart. And I know he says, past performance isn't indicative of future performance, whatever. But like, there's always like this massive chart, and it shows like a very like high price point that looks like right now very unachievable. Like, for example, he posted something a couple of months ago about PulseX, and like the chart reached all the way up to like 0.001. Same thing with PulseChain. And then you saw with HEX, it was like 9 cents, and it was like, again, I don't want to read into this like it's fucking, I'm reading into something and getting like too conspiratorial. But if I were to surmise what that was supposed to convey, was that like, this is what I'm looking at right now. This is the only HEX I'm really focused on. So that's what I got out of that.
Yeah.
From Buck.
Interesting. Yeah, I think, like I said, everyone feel free. They do whatever you want. I just, the ones that I look at, I'm like, I'm very confused and or annoyed. I'm like, I'll keep scrolling. I don't need to look at it right now. Maybe I'll come back later and appreciate it. Maybe in a week from now, we'll be like, oh my God, that was an amazing tweet. Look at the hint he dropped that no one understood. Maybe, maybe not.
Well, what's the chart done since he posted that? It's pumped what 45% or something. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. So
maybe that's what Buck was meaning.
somebody got the
Take
hint. Somebody got the hint.
Yeah.
There you go. Wow.
That could be it. That could be.
Yeah. So
I'm
there's a
gonna
Naval.
pump it.
Well, somebody bought there. I don't know who, but yeah, somebody definitely did. I always like the Naval quote on this too. Like he talks about if you pay attention to again, you guys don't have to believe it or agree with it or whatever, but I think it's an interesting way of putting it. If you pay attention to politics, it destroys your ability to think. I think there's some truth to that in a certain way. And like for this type of stuff, I'll adapt. It's like, okay, if you pay attention to drama, it destroys your ability to think.
I agree.
That's what I got out of it. But anyways, hex up, guys. Hex up. That was. Let me just make sure.
I don't
confirm.
pay too much attention.
I got the hex up. The hex ups. Shitty joke. Sorry.
A lot of stuff on Twitter. Obviously,
that was horrible.
Sorry, you guys cut in for a minute. Go ahead. Good, Ali. I think Corey came through, but Ali chopped up.
I think Ali's frozen right now. Not frozen, but I can't hear him.
Sing the song, Corey. You know the song. You know the lyrics. Sing it.
What song?
The Frozen song.
I never seen Frozen.
You never seen Frozen?
No.
You heard the song though.
No.
Let it go.
Bro, I'm very, very pop culture illiterate. Extremely.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Galley's either incapacitated as far as bandwidth goes, or
I think I'm back. I think I'm back.
Okay, he's back. He's back. Did you remember what you were saying?
Yeah, I was just saying that, you know, I really hate that on Twitter whenever people say a tweet which is cryptic, like a hint. Why don't you just freaking say what it is you want to say rather than dropping some stupid hint? You know, if you're going to act smart and pretend to be really smart and have some real deep insider knowledge that nobody else knows, freaking share it with us all instead of giving us these cryptic clues. So when I see comments like Buck's comment there, I just scroll straight past that.
Buck does that a lot though. Like sometimes he'll like quote the Bible and stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, I need to look up Corinthians.
That's actually pretty deep.
Yeah, I got to look up actually.
If I see somebody quoting the Bible, I may have to like read into that. Be like, oh my god, is this about to get biblical? Like this could be.
Yeah, how does Deuteronomy have to do with, you know, the Bitcoin halving? Tell me the relevance. So
well, that will only give you a hint, Corey. That's the whole idea. You got to figure it out. I mean, perhaps I imagine a lot of people who don't give away a lot of information want to, you know, buy it up before everyone else does, and then maybe later explain. I'm not saying Buck in general, but I'm just saying in general, people probably, that's kind of the strategy. Like you don't talk about it before you buy, that sort of thing. But it's funny that, I mean, I guess this would be like in the middle of it. I guess there would be a hint there, but only for certain. Yeah. Hard to say. Anyways, smart guy, but very interesting. We have a lot of interesting sub community in PulseChain for sure. But
we are.
Anyways, hex up. We'll say that. Big question from Hex Edits here before we go on. We'll hit into PulseWars right up to this. But where do we think ETH is going this cycle? Anybody want to take this one?
I don't know, like 10K.
I was gonna say anywhere between 8 and 10, somewhere around there.
Is that it? Is that it? Geez, I was gonna say 15 to 20.
I mean, that's like an extra 2x from here, and that puts what? Can anybody here do like the math on that? Like, where would we be in the totality of market caps if that was the case? And imagine what Bitcoin would be if Ethereum 2x, if Ethereum 4x from here, 6, 9, 12, 15. I'm going to surmise Bitcoin is at least going to 3x. I mean, I know some people are saying Bitcoin's going to 240K, 200K, 180. I don't even know anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm thinking like Ethereum will go to 8 to 10K. That's my honest thoughts. But again, I'm always a conservative prick.
That's only a 2x from like where it was a month ago, though.
Yeah, but from the lows, it's like from the lows when it hit like $1,000 in the low of the market, that's like a 10x. And, you know, Ethereum has a pretty high S curve right now. So, you know, it's, I mean, again, I can very well hit 15, 20K. I don't know. I have no idea. I just don't know what the major catalyst will be for the major runs. I mean, we had the ETFs already. We had the Bitcoin happening in like 4 hours. I mean, I don't know what the next catalyst would be. I mean, Trump getting elected. I don't even know. I don't know.
I would just I would just follow what the SAC address is doing.
That yes,
I'm pretty confident that that's going to be selling when it thinks the top is in. So yeah, if you're looking for that trade HEX edits, then I'd probably bet on that.
That's a good point.
I was just Googling for when Ethereum moon. I came across some price predictions and just reading some of them. I mean, this one, honestly, 2024, the other one I pulled up was like, oh, it seems pretty conservative, but this one seems more of what I'm hearing people talk about a lot, like anywhere 6 to 10K, 12K. I mean, some people have been talking about 18K, but I think most people expect, it sounds like from what I've heard, most people expect 6, 8, 10K, 12K, somewhere through there. At the low end, 6K, high end, 12. Who knows? But that's just what I've been hearing. Not financial advice, of course.
No,
I certainly hope so.
Corey's right though. Like there's definitely an S curve, so it won't be doing the X's that it has done in the past. Let's put it that way. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I remember when the cycle before last, when like the cycle low in like 2019, I believe Ethereum went down to like $80, and it was So it's like you think of those prices, and it was only 5-6 years ago now. I wonder. I guess the main question that people should be asking right now too is, when will this cycle end? There's this constant debate where are we gonna have a long cycle, are we gonna have a regular cycle, or a short cycle? Is this cycle gonna be done by Christmas of this year? Is this cycle gonna be done by April of next year? Or is this cycle going to go into New Year's of 2025? Yeah, that's a legitimate question that I think nobody right now is able to answer.
I follow Somi's opinion on this.
Yeah, my take on that is I stay out of that. It's so unpredictable and so like you just can't know. So it's like I just have my bags packed and I've got targets that I want to hit to sell, and that's the way I'm playing it.
That's that's the best way you can put it, just so you're not like, I mean, I don't care what anybody says, like, I do not want to, you can tell by a bear market in the attitudes that people have that a lot of people regret decisions that they did or didn't make in a bull market. So like, I always say this, and I think everyone should, be more adamant about not being self-righteous in the idea that, selling is this, horrendous philosophy. Have a plan. Seriously, have a plan.
Only selling too soon. That's correct. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Don't be too greedy. Don't be too greedy.
I like
greedy. That. Greedy. I don't know what you're talking about. What is greed? What is greed? Is that when you tell your kids not to eat all the chocolate? Don't be greedy. Share with other kids. Share the chocolate. I got a question here for HEXGeta. Wonderful says, can you hot me up on HEX? Anybody can answer, but I figure HEXGeta's got some data as well that he's been looking at.
Yeah. I mean, I'm perma bullish on HEX. Like, I love it. Like more than PulseChain and PulseX. I mean, we can get super deep into the weeds if you like later on in terms of like T-shares, cost per T-share, like the discounts which are still available, like buying old T-shares, which have higher APYs than you can get right now. Like, I don't know. HEX has definitely, I mean, it's kind of changed narratives a lot over the past, year or two since we've been on this massive dip from kind of the store of value narrative. I think from where I stand, it's like a highly speculative play. Yeah, it's it's a speculative instrument, right?
Yes.
More so than a store of value, and but I still think that's like highly valuable in the marketplace, and I think it will, like price volatility wise, I think it will calm down in the years to come, just like Bitcoin's volatility kind of calmed down. If you had been around in 2009, 2010 and had Bitcoin then and kind of claimed that it was a store of value compared to gold, for example, like people would have just laughed in your face, right? And that's kind of where we are right now with HEX. Like people are laughing in the staker class's like face. So I don't
Yeah,
know. Like
That's actually a good
I'm-
analogy. Talking
No,
about
it's a
Bitcoin.
very good
too.
analogy.
Do you think Bitcoin kind of found its store value narrative maybe recently, or you think it will this decade, and Hex is like kind of behind it on that?
I mean, yeah, I think it took like 10 years to find that, like settle into that narrative. So Hex may take 10 years for sure. I mean, we're like 5 years into that.
5 more years.
Yeah, no, I want to play devil's advocate, and HEXGeta makes a really, 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 really good point where like Bitcoin had a store, this digital gold narrative, but prior to that, its main philosophy was to be an alternative currency. And me personally, I believe Bitcoin being an alternative currency is not going to happen. And the reason why I think that is, if I go and take a piss and Bitcoin goes down 10%, that's not or even up 10%, that's not a very viable economic model for stability or sustainable by any means for products.
You should stop urinating.
I agree. I drink too much water.
Your fault, Corey.
I agree.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So-
it's not good for you.
I guess the question is Hex going, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, doesn't mean I believe this, but is Hex going from the store of value paradigm to the highly speculative instrumental tool, monetary tool that HEXGeta, you were just saying about? And either or, I think that plays, a positive role in possible price appreciation in the future, because I mean, let's just face it, this whole market is speculation. It really is. I mean, right now, there really is no real world adoption. Yeah, you could say the ETFs and stuff like that are real world adoption, but, I'm not going to my local deli and paying for an egg and cheese sandwich with Bitcoin or Ethereum or Hex or Cardano or whatever. So it's right now, I think speculation, speculation is what leads to green candles. So I don't see that as a bad thing if that is, the trajectory for Hex for the next couple of years, if it's going to be just, a speculative financial instrument. And I know that there's other people who have said that in the community. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to pull up the.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, bring up that poll about the stakes that you made.
That's what I was going to do. You read
You made a really good poll. I totally forgot. Thank you for reminding me. You made a really good poll about staked Hex. And I saw that.
I clicked this today. I clicked this.
Do you still have it
clicked
already?
Yeah, I find it. You clicked yesterday, or not? There, yes is not an option. Do you say you clicked yes?
I clicked 0.
Damn it, I gotta
No
start adding.
stakes
There we go.
made this year.
There we go. You click 0.
Yep.
You and
I
Corey
haven't made
both.
a single one.
Damn it.
Not a single one.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the answers are so far.
Chat.
My vision's so bad.
Chat, help me out. Chat, give me an answer here. 0, 1 to 5, 5 to 10, or 10 plus. How many Hex stakes have you made this year so far? I don't want to taint it myself, so I'll let you guys taint the poll with real answers. You know what happens when you don't start answering, chat? I start singing elevator music. Dun, 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 dun. Let's get it all. Everyone start singing whatever you want. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, all right. Fox Water. All right. We're good.
All right.
Winner, chicken dinner. There we go. 0. Not the answer I wanted to hear, Fox, but an answer indeed. Okay, so how many Hex stakes made? It's actually pretty good. So 600 votes so far. We hopefully get to 1,000 if you guys start voting. And
I can't see. My vision's so bad.
44% voted 0.
Out of 600 votes.
But the majority of people, the way to look at it, like positive framing, pro staking framing is the majority of people, 55.2% of people made at least one stake this year. And you could average them out. I mean, I guess you could say, I guess we could just say like 5 or something. I want to like ratchet it up that much. But anyways, yeah, over half the people voted have made at least one stake this year so far, and 12%. So that's what 6, 7, 8 people, something like that, have made over 10. 7 or 8 people answered this poll, made over 10 Hex stakes this year. There are people answering in the poll actually saying I made 10. Somebody said that. Made 5 this year. Cobb said I got around 40. Mr. Poupon here got around 40. I'm not sure if made 40, but that's quite a bit. I made at least 20 so far this year from Reaper. Yeah, over there. So 10 plus for a second birth. Yeah. Staking narrative. I mean, I imagine I'm going to go ahead and assume most of them were on PulseChain as well, which is totally fine. We got staking on Ethereum solutions, and we got individual staking and pooled solutions for PulseChain as well. But yeah, the whole staking narrative seems far from dead to me, and we still got time left on this poll.
Yeah, that would be. I'd really like to see the stat on how many of those people have done it on HEX compared to PulseChain.
That was a good point. Yeah,
just to see how or if it really is pretty dead over there. Maybe the HEXGeta knows. Is it Geta or Geta?
Geta.
HEXGeta.
Anything works. Yeah.
Maybe you know those stats, do you?
Not off the top of my head, but the best Twitter account for that kind of thing is Ben Sierra. He has like the ETH versus PulseChain staking stats, like to the T, like everything.
Yeah, Ben's great. I'll put his. I'll just put it in the chat to reference for people.
Oh yeah, I've seen this fella. He does a good job.
And it's high. I mean, it's pretty high. I know it's quite a bit higher on PulseChain, but it's still very active.
Awesome.
So,
all right, good question, Mr. Wonderful, in the chat there as well. But Corey, do you want to stay for a few more minutes? You got to run. What do you want to do?
I can't. My vision's so bad. What time is it?
You got about 10 minutes until 5. 8
okay.
minutes.
Yeah, I got four more minutes.
Okay, sounds good. PulseWars, take it away. Ali, Kane, you got something to present? If you want to, you can share the screen.
Oh yeah, 2 seconds. So yeah, for the last I've been kicking around the ecosystem for the last maybe 3 years, but after PulseChain launched and all the infighting and the charts were all dying, I decided to step up and do my part for the chain.
First of all, I don't know what you're talking about. The community has been very calm and stable ever since for the last 2 years. So that's a weird thing you just said.
I think September, 6 months after PulseChain launched, I think everything had hit all time. The sentiment had hit all time lows, more so than even prices. But so look, 2 trains of thought. Some people were thinking Richard Hart needs to come back and make the chain what it is, and other people thought, well, we've got to make it we've got to make the chain become what we want it to be. So I was of that train of thought, and I would decided to start building. So I didn't want to just launch another coin. I wanted to do something that was that was more me, that I would actually enjoy doing. We watch enough charts. I didn't want to launch my own coin at that time and watch my own chart even more obsessively than all the others. So I decided to build a game for the whole Hex and PulseChain community. Part of the focus was to reach out, try to make this game little easy to play game, reach out to all the different sub communities of the Hex and PulseChain ecosystem and give them all something fun that they can all play together. So what I created was a game called PulseWars, and what it is if you think about like, I don't know what you guys call it in the States, if it's called fantasy league, like fantasy league football.
Fantasy football.
Yeah, fantasy football. So I've created a game which is a Hex and PulseChain version of fantasy football. It's called PulseWars. So the game to enter the game, you have to buy an NFT, and there are 7 different types of NFTs in the game, and each different type will get a different portfolio. Some of them will have PulseChain coins, some of them will have Ethereum based coins, some of them will get 4 coins, some will get 1 coin. And what the holder of the NFT does is manages the little in-game portfolio over the next 280 days. And over the 280 days, we run through like 14 rounds of elimination leagues. And each round, half of the participants get eliminated. And we run through 14 rounds over 280 days. 16,000 entrants gets whittled down to 1 left at the end, and the winner wins 3.5 billion pulse. Nice. So that was the prize pool. I wanted to create something that could make somebody at the top of the bull run an absolute shit ton of money. 3.5 billion pulse. Even at sacrifice prices like $350,000. And kind of the reason that we designed this game to last 280 days, it's going to start around June. The last 280 days was to give the prize pools time to grow in value with PulseChain. So as the game progresses through time, the prize pools pump. the players left in the game get smaller and smaller, and it kind of just builds an excitement the whole way through the bull run. So that's it. That's a general gist of it. You know, we have say 16,384 NFTs can enter the game, and you just manage within it. You just within the game site, you just manage the little portfolio. Try and keep your NFT in the league at the top in the top half of the league, and progress as far as you can. The game also, the prize pools pay out like the top 512 people, so you don't have to get all the way to the end. It's like a kind of like a poker tournament payout system where you make it through 5 rounds. I think you make it through 5 rounds of 14, then your prizes just increase and increase and increase the further you go through the game.
Guys, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I gotta head out. I'm so
How dare
sorry.
you?
But
Good
guys,
to see you
Corey,
again,
man.
Corey.
yeah, guys,
Good
have
to
a
see you,
great
Corey.
weekend, okay?
You
Yeah.
too,
Thanks,
Corey.
Corey.
We'll definitely do this soon, all right?
Yeah. See you, Corey. Thanks,
All
man.
right, peace out, guys.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the homepage on the website where you go. Just gives a little bit of overview of what the game. So like we built this game to be really, really simple for the whole Hex and PulseChain community to play. It's not a game that's built for gamers. It's a game that's built for regular guys like us that are in the ecosystem, love the community, love crypto coin, love all the Hex and PulseChain coins. And you know, you can kind of feed your degeneracy and your trading buzz within this game without having to risk a lot of your capital. You know, the game, if you imagine, every round in the game lasts about 20 days, and for each round you can only actually make one trade. So you have a portfolio of 4 coins. You can only make one trade per round. That's how simple it is to play. So you make your one trade. We have 25 or 30 coins on PulseChain, and you can only use you can only play with the coins that we actually include in the game as well. So it's built for everybody in the Hex and PulseChain ecosystem to be easy to play, not for the guys that want to sit and play this thing 24/7. What that also does is it kind of drives the value of the NFTs into the NFTs that can be bought and sold on the secondary market, rather than the value being behind this guy, maybe this one person that's sitting 24/7 playing the game. So it's just very, very easy to play for everyone. Let me see.
So just to understand, there is you mint NFTs with Pulse, and then does that go into a pool where people win it, kind of like a fantasy league deal?
Yeah, it's exactly it. So whenever people mint, there's 7 different types within the game. When you mint, the mint cost at the minute is 1 million pulse. It'll go up to 1.25 million. 65% of that goes to the prize pools, and 35% goes to the game development. We actually have 2 games. Okay, so there's the main PulseWars game. Sorry, let me actually get the let me pull up the white paper a second. I didn't want to go in. I didn't want to go in too deep into everything, but let me see. The game schedule, prize pools. So the main game has it's as I said, it's like when you mint 65% goes to the prize pools. 53 of it goes to into this main game prize pool. So you mint an NFT for 1 million. Call it half of that goes into this prize pool. Somebody's just asking in the comments there, is it winner take all, or their prizes for first, second, and third? So if there's 14 rounds, you make it to round 6, you win back 1.3 million. And as you progress through each round, that kind of starts to double. So as you get towards the last 32, the quarterfinals, semifinals, the prize pools really ramp up. Like making it to the last 16, you win 62 million pulse, which will be like in February or March next year. And then again, third and fourth place, 600 million pulse each. Second place, 200 million. First place, 2 billion. Sorry, for second place, and first place is 3.5 billion. So the prize pools, I'm kind of hoping that top prize of 3.5 billion, if Pulse does a 10x, that should be up at around $5 million at around hopefully when the game ends around the middle of March in 2025.
A lot of money.
Yeah, I mean the prize pools. It all depends on pulse pumping. Pulse pumps, prize pools get absolutely massive. So like the if you think about your odds of winning this game, we start off with 16,000 players. Call it 16,000. You buy an NFT for what is it at the minute, $75 or $80. You have a 1 in 16,000 chance of winning, possibly potentially $5 million at the top of the bull run. We've got a lot of players coming in, maybe buying 5 or 10. You buy 10 NFTs. You have a 1 in 6. You have a 1 in 1,600 chance of winning this huge, massive prize. So the prize pool's there for the main game, but what we also have is what we call the PulseWars community games. I believe all the degeneracy and people throwing money at beam coins, I think everybody should be bagging themselves at least one of these NFTs, just to enjoy what happens with it through the bull run. You can literally buy one of these, stick it in your wallet. Once every couple of weeks, come back and check, is your NFT performing well within the game? If not, maybe do a little trade. If it is performing well, you literally don't even need to do anything. Your NFT will just continue to progress if the little portfolio that you have in it does well. A week before the game starts, everybody will have the opportunity to come along and assign like a fake $10,000 to the coins that they have in their little portfolio, and that's how the game all kind of kicks off. But what we also have every single week in about 2 weeks' time, the first game kicks off. Every week, NFT holders can play a little mini game, a little pulse die trading game. With 50 million pulse up for grabs every single week. So your NFT, what we've got here is community teams. So if you hold one of our NFT,
Rugged.
I'm still here.
As I. He'll be back. I think on average takes about 20 seconds. I think I've been noting for him. Just mental model here. He'll come in a little scratchy. We'll hear his voice, and then another 20, 30 seconds before he stabilizes.
I'm back, Emma.
Oh, there you are.
Back?
Useless. This is useless. Yeah, sorry. So we have 20 community teams. So if you own one of our NFTs, you can join one of our community teams for free. We've got teams like the Tang Gang, Glory by Means, I Believe in Aliens, the Lorien Guild. What have we got? I Don't Give Two Fucks, 9 Inches of Pleasure. We've kind of got all the sub-communities of the PulseChain ecosystem covered in this. What else? We've got Friendships Confirmed, Vampire Attacks for the Xenians that are potentially out there, might want to play. The Boob Burring Aussies for any KDP fans. So the idea behind this was to reach out to all the different communities. You claim a team badge, and when you play the weekly game, there's 50 million pulse up for grabs. If you win the weekly game, whoever wins it wins 35 million pulse for their team. So if you hold an NFT and you join the Tang Gang team, if the winner of the weekly trading game is in the Tang Gang team, he wins 35 million pulse for the rest of his team. You come along and claim your share of that 35 million every week. So we've got there's a lot of real easy, simple stuff going on. I'll actually give where's the so if you hold an NFT.
So I like the Friendships Confirmed.
Yeah,
funny Sami one. Yeah.
If you hold an NFT, you can come along every week. You basically connect your wallet. What is this? It will show you so this will be like whenever you come to play the game, this will display all the PulseWars NFTs that you have. This game is only about 2 weeks away before it's ready to launch, and this will give everybody an indication of what the full game with those big massive prize pools will be like. This is just a very simple version of it. In this, you trade 1 coin. When the full game kicks off, there'll be 16,000 people, and you'll have 4 coins in your portfolio. So I'll show you that. This will show you all your PulseWars NFTs. You join the game, and this is the little trading stream where you'll manage your little in-game portfolio.
Oh, you're back.
You're there.
That was
You're
a quick
there.
one.
Sorry about this, guys. Useless internet tonight for some strange reason. So yeah, this is just a little trading screen that whenever you're in playing the weekly mini game, this is where you make your trade. You can only trade the pulse die chart, and you can only make 3 trades a day. So it actually works out 20 trades over the week. That's it. And you go into a leaderboard, shows you your rank in the leaderboard, how many trades you have left. And as I say, the first in the weekly game, first place is like 6 million. Second place is like 3 million, and then everybody all the way down to 1 to 10 all get paid. I think 4 to 10 get like 500,000 pulse back each. So we've got loads of stuff going on, and the mint is actually the mint's live at the minute. First game's coming in 2 weeks, and then the full PulseWars game in starting in the middle of June. So yeah, that's just a general overview. Any questions?
Just a couple. Is there an Atropa team? Is there a team?
No, if you look on there's at the minute further down the line we will be able to add more teams. There's only 4,000 team badges at the minute. 20 teams capped at 200 people per team at the minute. The list there. If you go to PulseWars.io, the link to the full white paper is there. It'll bring up all the details, and the list is in there in the welcome to the community games page.
Nice, man. Yeah, so hopefully it'll
we've got a lot of plans to add more features as we go through. That's part of it, but we wanted to start off with these 20 teams. That kind of gives a good overview or a good idea of most of the sub communities of the PulseChain ecosystem as it sits at the minute.
I'm not a gamer, but hopefully this will bring some people playing some playing. It's interesting. Like it's almost like it is kind of like a fantasy football type of thing too. It's interesting. You definitely put a lot of work into it, man. You actually have a Git book for it, which is more than a lot.
Oh man, I've been working really hard. There's so many small details. You know, I'm talking. We've got 7 different classes of NFTs. You can actually. Nobody's ever done this before. We have collaborated with 27 different NFT collections that are already on PulseChain. So you can mint one of our PulseWars 10,000 NFTs, but the other 6,000 are made up by entrants that can bring their NFTs from other PulseChain collections and play the game with NFTs that they already have, and they get a little in-game bonus for doing that.
That's pretty good game theory because they've already kind of bought into the game almost. Like they already hold the players.
They already have the NFT. So I mean, I didn't know how deep you wanted me to go into things, but I'll give it a little bit more detail. You know, when you mint an NFT,
just a few more minutes because I want to make sure we got like 30 minutes left for HEXGeta. But yeah, maybe just a couple more minutes.
Just a quick one on the game. So there's overall. There's 7 different types of NFTs. Pulsicans are the defenders of PulseChain. They get 4 PulseChain coins in their portfolio, and they can only make 1 trade per round. Maxis get 1 coin in their portfolio from outside the PulseChain ecosystem. Natives get 1 PulseChain coin in their portfolio. The frenemies get 4 coins from outside PulseChain. And then the founders they can choose any coins they want, and they have more power than everybody else. They can make 4 trades per round within the game. So there's only 200 of those. They're very, very rare and much stronger than everything else in the game. And then we'll have power items, which are just totally random items. These are all like Hex and PulseChain. I don't even know what you call it. Memorabilia. How's it going out there? Richard Hart quotes, bug eaters, Hexico. Stick them furries in your mouth. Fertility is the price you pay for. So you've got all these power items that if you get drawn against one of these at random during some of the rounds, you have a 50-50 chance of survival. So there's loads of things going on. The Pulsicans there's 4,600 Pulsicans. I actually minted yours, RHMax. It's not on this wallet, but if you see there's like names here. App refresher. There's 4,600 Pulsicans, and the majority of them are people that you will know from the Hex and PulseChain ecosystem. I spent hours on a lot of the very small details of this game. So there's one in there called RHMax, which I actually minted. And not even just the streamers, but just, you know, even from all the Telegram groups that I'm in, I pulled everybody's names, but I tweaked them all a little, so they're not your real name. They've got a little tweak in them, so that it'll be like a reference to your it'll be recognizable as you, but you won't know it's you. So there's loads of small. It really is built for the Hex and PulseChain ecosystem. And when people see the NFTs start to come out and get shared, and some of the things, they'll really see the small detail that went in to building this game for the community.
Wow, a lot of storyboard, man. You guys definitely put a lot of work into the different characters and classes, and wow, very cool.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and like I say, it is all very simple. That's just some of the NFTs that have been minted so far.
Yeah, so I'm not much of a gamer or into NFTs, but this is I could tell like this game has been well put together, at least where that goes, and a lot of community interaction, like kind of, you know, automatic, especially when you're minting them for people or just naming different stuff, and a lot of, you know, RH inspired stuff too. It's yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah,
to
look,
see that.
I believe as the game grows, people, I really do think we've got something pretty special here for the ecosystem, for the bull run. I built this to be a big focal point of the community as we run up over the next year and a half. And I think as it gets bigger, as we sell more NFTs, as the games start, people will start to realize, one, how easy it is to play, but two, how well it is all put together, and three, that it is actually so simple, and that it is for everyone that's already in the ecosystem to literally buy one of these and have a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, HEXGeta, the floor is yours. That is Ali Kane with PulseWars.
Awesome. Let me share my screen here.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Chrome tab. Let me just see how I can share my screen. Damn, I'm not used to streaming. Entire screen is going to show the StreamYard.
You can just
is it window?
You can do like window? A tab.
A tab, okay.
Yeah.
But I think it has to be the same tab in the browser that I'm currently in, right?
The one that you have in view. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let me just bring it over then. Cool.
Just see Finbar mentioning there better be a Finbar in there. There actually is. But it may not be called Finbar. Exactly.
Okay.
Sorry, just see it looking back as well.
Yeah. So yeah, like getting to kind of look into party. Maybe I can introduce Maximus DAO for people that don't know. It's a HEX kind of derivative smart contract made by Dipcatcher and Goldkey. They're the founders. I think Goldkey's in the chat as well. But Maximus DAO was created for the main purpose of reducing the gas required for users to end their HEX stakes. As we've kind of seen from recent developments with EHEX no longer being the real HEX, the gas fees are a big deal. They can become prohibitive for people to end their stakes. $300, $400 is what we've been seeing for 3-year stakes to be ended, 4-year stakes to be ended. Maximus DAO basically solved that. It reduced the gas required to end stakes by 99.9%. And that's not like an exaggeration. It's like literally 99.9%. And the way that it did that is by pooling users who wanted to stake together into a single stake. And so you could have thousands of users staking together, and you would just have to pay that end gas stake fee once. So sometimes it does this, you need to refresh. But so that was why it was originally created. It was created to preserve the long-term health of HEX staking specifically, and not just on Ethereum, also on PulseChain, because we are going to be seeing much higher end stake. We're just going to be seeing higher gas fees on PulseChain in general if we get adoption and if we get more people bridging in, which is kind of what we all want to see. So like Maximus DAO, those products are still like essential for the long-term health of HEX staking. So I encourage and urge everyone who's staking, like solar staking, to consider just buying one of these tokens that you see here. So P Maxi, P Deci, P Lucky, P Trio, P Base, they all represent a different length HEX stake. And you can just go ahead and buy one of those instead of solo staking. Now, the longer that you stake out solo, the higher the risk that you're taking that your stake may not be feasible to end. So like a 1 year stake solo, the risk is lower. The risk is kind of capped to, do you think gas fees are going to be insanely high in the next year or so? But if you're staking out 15 years, I would highly consider this smart contract. There is an extra layer of risk in terms of like there is an extra smart contract involved, right? So you're kind of interacting with two smart contracts here. You're taking on board the HEX smart contract risk and the Maximus DAO smart contract risk in a sense. But in my opinion, like that risk adjusted, it's worth it just because the gas fee is a very real risk, and it's an absolute risk because you have to pay it. So getting on to look into Party, Pool Party launched recently, which was kind of the final piece of the puzzle of the Maximus ecosystem. So you have these 5 products on both Ethereum and on PulseChain, but Pool Party, what it was kind of designed to just plug in the holes between all of these stakes and make a whole like ecosystem so that anyone could launch at any time a new pooled stake. So you could launch your own Maxi today, even though Maxi is now 13% of the way through. It's about a year and a half. Where is the number? It's about a year and a half old. 2 years old, nearly 2 years old now. So you could just launch a new Maxi, right? Which is a max length stake. You can get, do your own marketing, get as many people on board as you can. And then you would, at the end of those 15 years, just pay that end stake fee once. So you could also do a 14-year, 13-year, 12-year between the 10 and 15 years of Deci and Maxi. You can basically do whatever you want. We've seen some really interesting ones launch over the past, month since Pool Party went live, 2 months. So we've kind of, seen quite a few launch, all of varying length, like some max length stakes, a few kind of like, branded ones like 5-day stakes. So that's kind of the Pool Party system. Look into Party. It's still pretty much just a domain name and a one-page WordPress site at this point, but I'll probably be doing exactly what I did for Look into Maxi, which is just compile all of the stats so that I can value these products and buy them, buy the ones that I want to accumulate. So and then also just provide that information like publicly to other people. So we have, and I launched this today just so that we have one of the Pool Party tickers live. We have Quarter, which is a 90-day stake, and it's a rolling stake. So that actually does have, it has liquidity and it has a price feed that I can pull, and you can kind of look at the stats of all of these. So you have kind of
by the way, are you sharing the Look into Party right now? We still see Look into Maxi.
Oh, right, my bad.
That's also, I was like, let me remind him just in case. Yeah,
let me switch over. Thank you.
Yeah, course. Yeah, excited to see that you got one of them up. I was looking around like, when
Yeah.
what I mentioned earlier, when we're gonna have bidet up.
Bidet, yeah, bidet. Well, bidet's down here. Where is it? It's there we are. Bidet 5555. So yeah, a lot of these are kind of to be confirmed.
What does that mean? Like, why aren't they all?
What does that mean? Well,
I mean, legit, like technical question. Yeah.
Technical question. Yeah. I mean, I pull all these numbers manually. I'm not a developer by any means. I'm more of just like a statistician type guy. So it's all done in Google Sheets, and it was originally just my own Google Sheets. Like I was valuing like Maxi versus Deci in the beginning, and just seeing like, okay, why is Deci so cheap? Just doing it in Google Sheets, like Excel. And so when Richard says like blockchains are kind of like spreadsheets hosted on the internet, like this is literally a spreadsheet hosted on the internet. But yeah, so like the technical limitation for why I don't have these stats, like everything is ready to go. I could show you my spreadsheet now, but I probably have to switch screens, but it's like literally all of the stats are ready to go. I just need the start date for for all of these, for the stake start date. And we don't have like a good block explorer experience. So when I look up all of these tickers, because they're all distinct coins, right? When I look those up, I can't really see the transaction history super well on our current block explorer. So I think the GoPulse block explorer, it sounds like it's only a few weeks out. Like they recently rolled out, looking up transactions, which is really useful. I don't know if you've checked that out, but like if you have a transaction ID, you can look that up and see exactly how much you swap from one to the other coin.
I saw that. I didn't know we were going to get a block explorer though. That's definitely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely coming. I don't know how long it is. Like, don't quote me on that, but
2 more weeks.
2 more. Yeah, just stick to that. It's 2 more weeks probably. So once I have that, and then I can basically, give you information on how many T-shares there are, when the stake started, how long it is, and just all of the HEX stats. We are still limited in terms of like cost per T-share and stuff by the liquidity that's in the pools, because I think we don't have liquidity pools for a lot of these tickers just yet. Quarter is like the most liquid one, but I expect like once HEX staking and HEX becomes more popular again, which we're all kind of hoping for, then Pool Party will kind of have its time in the light, and that's when its use case also becomes most valuable, when gas is much higher than it is right now, and solar staking.
Is that the full list of pools that have been opened at the minute, or is there more, or have you got every single one covered in your little spreadsheet?
I have every single. Nearly. There was one more, but this is basically all of the. Actually, no. Yeah, Reggie, I added it today. This is all of them on PulseChain. ETH, I still need to check, but there's a few fewer on the ETH side. But this is pretty much it, and you can kind of compare. The idea will be you have like a massive table, and you'll be able to compare the Maximus products in terms of like cost per T-share, APY and HEX, so you can kind of see. APY and HEX, APY and dollars if you buy them today, taking into account the discount that exists. So for example, Deci, it's still at a discount. You're getting higher APY if you buy it today than if you minted it. The same goes for Lucky, Trio. I mean, it's just because HEX is not popular right now, and there's sell pressure on these tokens because people want to either sell to dollars or sell to HEX. And so some of them are discounts, and there's an opportunity here to get Trio, which is 50% of the way through, 51% of the way through, and you're getting 27% APY, which if you started a stake today, you'd be getting less than half of that for a 3-year stake. And you'd only be waiting 1.5 years. So it's like a 1.5-year stake, and you're getting double the APY than if you started a 3-year stake today. To get an equivalent amount of APY, and I'm looking at the solo staking today, because solo staking is, you're really maxing out around 23-25% APY now if you do a max length stake. You can't even get 27% in a solo stake period, this is a 1.5 year stake essentially, and you're getting 27%. Now, albeit the liquidity is low, but you can put up a single side on 9mm, and you can accumulate P trio if you like. So there's a lot of opportunity here in terms of like valuing this matrix of tokens and stakes basically, and buying T-shares which are cheap versus expensive. So yeah,
this is
that's
really
kind
good
of
data. Like having it laid out like this is just, you hear people say, oh, why don't you buy the Maximus tokens? Why don't you do pooled staking, all this stuff? When you lay it out and you can actually compare each option for people, like that's really invaluable information. So yeah, thank you very much for putting it together.
Yeah, I'm scratching my own itch, so it's
why is base not the obvious? If it's getting 37 and it's only a year stake, why is it not the obvious one to go? The obvious go-to?
I mean, it's dependent quite a lot on liquidity. So when you go to buy base, if the liquidity is too thin and you get slippage of say 10%, or 5%, 10%, then this figure comes way down. So you just have to bear that in mind. When you go to buy, don't smash the buy button without looking at the slippage, because the actual price you end up paying may be higher than this price. But based on the last traded price, this is kind of the APY adjusted, because we are, we're basically paying slightly more, like fractions of a cent more than the HEX liquid price, but with half a year of yield just slapped on top for free. So that's kind of how you would look at it. But slippage is like super important. Just take that into account. Now, if you were to set up like a single-sided position on 9mm, you could just be eaten into by all of the sell pressure on base. So that is something that you could do. I haven't tested it myself, but you could create like a kind of a wall, like a buy wall at the price that you wanted. And using this data, you could figure out like, okay, what's the value of base right now? And, what's the price in HEX terms that I want to put that buy wall at? So yeah, there's just like a lot of cool stuff that you can do. And yeah, hopefully have more stats going forward. But yeah, otherwise, that's pretty much it from my side.
It's nice. It's really nicely put together, nice and clear and simple. For the simpletons like me, you can come along and just pick out all the information you want there. It's pretty nice. Good job.
Thanks. Yeah.
I'm glad you avoided dark mode as well, because people tell me all the time, you should turn on dark mode, you're blinding me. And I'm like, I like clean screens, and white space just happens to do that for anyone who has a pair of eyes that likes to look at a lot of data. So thank you for not bending the wheel to the dark mode maxis. Okay.
Yes.
What is the liquidity pool in the base pool at the minute? It's low. What is it? It's like,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Can probably look it up. I'm not sharing my screen right now, but have a look.
That's a great tip to put up an order, because a lot of people that say, oh, I want to go get these, but if I'm going to get the slippage, that's going to eat into, like you said, the deal and all that stuff too. So if you're able to put up liquidity for it and just over time accumulate it, and then you'll have that. I guess that's the biggest difference, or would you say that's the biggest hurdle for people? Instead of getting HEX, getting into these to get those prices, is just being able to acquire them.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's acquiring them is hard, but I think the biggest hurdle is just understanding them. Like there's a massive hurdle to actually knowing what you're buying, and that was how it was for me. Like when Maximus launched, I was just kind of like, wow, this is really an abstraction of something that I already don't understand super in depth. Like hexes takes time to understand, right? and now you're basically introducing new variables into the whole system where, okay, now you have the hex stake, it should have this price, but wait, it doesn't, because people are trading it and the price is going down from kind of like where it should be, where the, you know, where the stake backing, quote unquote, should be. And so it's just like it introduces a whole host of new variables. Like if the stake is halfway through, okay, what should the price be if the stake is halfway? So even when you solo stake, you don't really think about these things. But once you tokenize it and put it on the blockchain and you ask yourself, okay, so what should the T-share price be like right now based on the price of HEX? It's kind of an interesting question. And so like when you put it in this table form, you can kind of see on my screen right now, the cost per T-share. You learn quite a lot about HEX by looking into these liquid stake pool products as well. Like you can see that the cost per T-share is increasing as the stake kind of gets shorter, right? And so, I mean, that's just the bonuses at work, right? So you kind of have to understand how the bonuses work in HEX before, otherwise you're just like, whoa, Maxi's so cheap, but it's not really, it's just longer, you know? So, and it got more bonuses. So like, there are a lot of hurdles before, like, even if you know exactly which one you want to buy, you're like, okay, I want to buy Deci because it's got the highest APY. You know, luckily Deci's quite liquid, but you know, the liquidity definitely comes into play. Like, you know, if you go to PulseX, it's more difficult to find liquidity. You probably need to use an aggregator. There's a lot of liquidity on PHUX because of those kind of indexed pools. So yeah, you definitely need to do your reading.
So this information that you've pulled together here, this isn't available anywhere else. This is only the stuff that you've pulled together, because I can imagine people like I haven't spent much time in this whole sub ecosystem with these products, but looking at this has made it all very, very clear to me very quickly. Is this information available anywhere else, or is it just what you've pulled together?
So it's available in a few more places, like GoPulse. They have, I mean, since they have their portfolio tracker, that's been super useful. I have like more stats on the site, like in terms of like leagues, so like league rankings for the different tokens. And now GoPulse has that. Hex Scout has some data on the tokens. So if you put your address in and you hold any of these tokens, it tells you how many T-shares you have. So say you have, you know, 1,000 Maxi coins, it will show you like, okay, you know, you have 3 T-shares or whatever it is. So they're tracking everything really well, which is great, because now, you know, you can measure your solo stakes and your kind of liquid Maximus tokens, and you can combine them together to see how many T-shares that you have. Whereas prior to that, you know, our options were limited. But in terms of the statistics, I mean, I think the boys, you know, Dipcatcher and Golkey, they're going to be working on stuff as well for Pool Party in terms of statistics. But the statistics that I try and source, I mean, it's all like so manual, because all of the data, and I'm not super technical in terms of like pulling data like straight from the chain. Dipcatcher could probably do it, but I'm pulling stuff manually from the block explorer, like the date the stake started. If I can get that, I can get the T-share rate. You know, I can calculate basically with formulas and stuff like the bonuses, how many T-shares are in the stake. So I've gone through that whole process of understanding HEX quite deeply now. I just need like 3 or 4 metrics to pull manually, and then I can figure everything else out. Like it's all just Excel. So as far as I know, this is the most in-depth. These are the most in-depth resources which are live, like in real time, because that's also quite important. Like you can do static updates for this stuff and publish them, but you know, the price moves so fast, the HEX price itself moves so fast, And then some of these token prices, they lag behind or they move. And so discounts form like over the course of days or weeks. And suddenly there's like a 10, 20% discount on some stuff. And there's an opportunity. And, you know, it would be good to have the data like in real time for people to kind of make the market more efficient. Now, the crazy thing is, since I released this data, I thought the market would become way more efficient and you'd just see all of these discounts and stuff disappear. But if anything, like the discount on Deci like just became wider and wider. The more like, I don't know, probably people just weren't checking the site at all, and just a select few people in the know were. But like after I published the site, like the market seemed to get less efficient. It was just like, I thought it would arbitrage away, but
I'm telling you, you could tell people like the answer to a question, and if they're already doing, you know, if they already think whatever they're doing is good enough, they won't take it. You could literally give them the answer to do stuff and they just won't take it. So yeah. I mean, if you're holding HEX, there's no reason to get the Maximus tokens unless you want that discount. Like you're holding, like again, holding Maximus is like holding, or any of the Maxi tokens is like you're holding HEX. You're just holding like a state version of it. Yeah. So for a lot of people, imagine they're like, oh, I'm already holding HEX. Why would I bother to go figure out to get this discount? Oh, is it really that much? Oh, as soon as you tell them about liquidity, they're like, oh, all right, I don't know. You know, 9mm V3, I don't know what any of that stuff is. So it's that's the funny thing. You can be, and that's like my brand too, being super transparent, talking about stuff, telling people a lot of ideals that I think are good, but you can talk to them all day, and most people still won't do it. But the ones who will, those are the ones that appreciate you.
100%.
Have you seen any real massive opportunities pop up on like a dip or on any of these? Like, is any of those APYs like shot to any crazy numbers?
Dude. Yes. I mean, like, when PulseChain launched, I mean, I wish I could get look into Maxi. Can you guys see my screen on look into Maxi?
Yes, we got like 2 minutes left, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I wish I could get the APYs to load, because that would be super interesting to show you. But just sometimes there's like so many internal links between the sheets that it's just like so heavy that sometimes the sheets break and then people are accessing it. So now you can see that it's broken. So yeah, I'm not a dev, but to give you my story, when PulseChain launched, I was getting for every 1 HEX, I was getting 2 Deci when PulseChain launched. I don't know where the liquidity came from, to be honest, but like, and at that point, Deci was already worth like 1.3 HEX.
Wow.
So let me show you the chart, because the chart outlines it really well, and this chart isn't pulling live data, it's pulling stats.
Where did the liquidity come from, Richard? Where did it come from?
I don't know where it came from. Yeah, I don't know where it came from. So look at this chart, Ali, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. I was getting Deci down here, and when PulseChain first launched, you can't even see how deep the discount went, because it went to like 0.4, 0.5, and the slippage was high. It was like 5%, but it was still like worth it. So you were like swapping 1 HEX and getting 2 Deci, and it was fully backed by nearly 1.2 HEX by that point. And so I was like doubling my HEX bags, basically, like when PulseChain launched. And then since then, you've seen the slow climb. I mean, it's been very volatile, but you've seen the slow climb kind of in line with the yield backing, and we're still massively discounted. Now, I would note, like, it should be discounted to an extent, because you're locking in for such a long period of time, and you're not going to be paying for the yield. You're not going to be paying the fair market price for the yield, because that extra amount, you're not earning any extra yield on top of. So there kind of should be a margin of discount here, but it's still like ridiculously discounted. And recently we've kind of hit and touched the 1-to-1 rate again, but it's still like, you know, it should be worth like 1.4. That's what it's backed by. Wow. Excuse the flat line here. Hex Daily Stats kind of changed up their links. I need to like update the last 2 weeks or so of yield data. But P Lucky, you can have a look at that chart, discounted. And then as we get shorter and shorter, you can see that it's just more efficient. Like it's fluctuating around the fair value of the hex state because there's just like less time to arbitrage as it gets closer and closer. If there was a massive discount like a week before Trio ended, for example, there would be people getting, potentially 500, 1,000% APYs in the last week. And so that's kind of why it's more efficient. But I'll end it there. I know, Max, you need to jump, but.
No, that's, dude. Yeah, thanks for all your work on this too. Amazing to see the discounts there and just the opportunities, and now we have the data too. So
yeah,
very cool.
Pleasure,
real quick,
pleasure.
Yeah, man, awesome work. Real quick, I just wanted to shout out to validators who myself. I saw I got like a huge increase in a daily the other day, and I kind of jumped the gun for a minute. I was like, oh man. It's been all the expensive gas fees. That's why it went up so much. And then I made the tweet, and a lot of other people were like, I didn't see a jump. And, probably just, probably got, my validators probably got into a sync committee or some other bonus thing for validating. And then I kind of had to go back and be like, all right, yeah, sorry. I don't think they went up for everyone. They didn't do the X's that they showed for me at least, but that was pretty cool. That kind of woke me up for a minute. I was like, oh man, because, Pulse price being down so much right now, it is, unless you have a ton of validators, it's just not profitable to be one, except, over time, of course, number of X's. I have this thread I went through all the numbers and calculations and all the estimations and stuff too, if you guys are interested. But anyway, I just want to throw it out there. Yeah, the validators numbers didn't go up as much. Sorry, I'll try to be more accurate in the future. However, it did make me dig in a little bit and share some other content of me and Gamma talking about some stuff before, and also hit up my friend GPT, AI Max time, and get some good information on rewards and some of the impact of transaction fees and what we could see in the future. I was like, give me some projections of what it could be with high traffic stuff, and like, okay, we could see actually increases in PLS that are pretty tasty coming up if we start, cool, increasing the network usage. So
is that all in that one thread there? Yeah.
This, so all the estimation stuff is in this thread. I'll put it in the chat too, if you guys are interested in taking a look. I went through the other day and just kind of looked at, okay, not super profitable unless you have this many validators, or how much it would be per month you'd be getting, and then what if the price 10x's, and what if you get in back then, like a month ago, it was 4K. And if the price 10x's, it'll be 40K. You'll need 40K to run it, and then 400K if we do all that stuff. So if you want to be a validator and you don't have PLS now and you're waiting around for the price to go up, I'm not sure that is going to be a profitable strategy. Not financial advice, however. Anyways, shout out to all my validators. Just wanted to mention that real quick because that's I've been actually started some good conversations with some of the people. Shout out to PLS Validator and also the Validator dashboard guys who have like a community validator thing that looks pretty neat as well. They got some more stats, and the Beacon dashboard. Yeah, and it made me. Okay, I don't have time to go through it, but if you go to beacon.pulsechain, so if you try to directly go through and click on a validator, it just will give you 502. But if you type in the index, if you go to dashboard, beacon.pulsechain.com/dashboard, and then type in index, I'm just going to do 5555, and you click the validator, then you can look at the history, then you can look at the stats. However, if you click on it, you're probably still going to get the 502. I'm not going to go all the way through, but after you wait 10 seconds, you'll get a 502 error, which means not working right now or whatever. But by the way, shout out to whoever's got 5555 validator index. You also have 100% perfect uptime as well. Flawless operation. So congratulations. Whoever's running that, getting the 26. Yeah, well done. 26 PLS per epoch. So anyways, I just wanted to talk about that for a minute too. It's been a discussion, and I'll try to do better next time, but I'll try to keep putting out good stats and all that stuff too, but create some good conversation. So that was fun. Gentlemen, where can people find out more about you and all the stuff you got going on?
Yeah, so yes, Ali Kane on Twitter, and PulseWars, just they got a nice simple PulseWars page on X as well. There's PulseWars, and the links are in the bio. PulseWars.io is the website if you want to check out. All the links to the minting page and the white paper are all on PulseWars.io.
Yeah, and for me, it's just Twitter as well, at HEXGeta. If you want to have a look at those sites that I shared today, look into maxi.com, look into party.com, and yeah, just hit me up. And
Awesome. Thanks, gentlemen. Good to see you all again. Great to hear about the community projects and stats and games and all that stuff too. Got to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum as well at the beginning with Corey too. So fun stream. Appreciate you.
Thanks very much for having me on again.
Thanks, Max.
Appreciate it.
Of course. Everyone else out there, Scivive and 5555. We are out.
bye, Ali.